class. Okay, all right, everyone. It is a serious day indeed. So good afternoon. Today, as part of our 10 Days of 10 Drugs series, we're highlighting Januvia, a drug that treats diabetes and that was selected for Medicare price negotiation as part of President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. Last year, around 885,000 seniors were prescribed Januvia and spent on average up to $500 a month for this life-saving medicine. For years, politicians talked about taking on Big Pharma to lower drug prices for seniors. All the while, Big Pharma continued to rake in record profits and spent $400 million on lobbyists to keep prices high for seniors. President Biden and congressional Democrats finally changed that by passing the Inflation Reduction Act without a single Republican vote. As a result, for the first time ever, instead of drug companies charging Americans whatever they want to for saving drugs like Januvia, Medicare will be able to negotiate lowering drug prices for Americans like Stephen.
Oh my God! Wow!
As we announced a short time ago, President Biden will host President Joko Widodo of Indonesia for a bilateral meeting at the White House on Monday, November 13th. During the visit, President Biden will reaffirm the United States' commitment to deepening our nearly 75-year-long partnership between the world's second and third largest democracies. The leaders will explore opportunities to enhance cooperation on the clean energy transition, advance economic prosperity, bolster regional peace and stability, and reinforce our people-to-people ties. The two leaders will also coordinate on efforts to reinforce ASEAN centrality and uphold international law and promote a free and open Indo-Pacific. With that, my colleague from NSC, Admiral John Kirby, is here to give any update that we have on Israel and take any of your foreign policy questions. With that.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today obviously marks 1 month here since the horrific Hamas attacks on October 7th. And we all just want to take a moment to acknowledge all the victims. That horrific act of terror. People slaughtered at a music festival, murdered in front of their kids in their home. It's a horrible day. And also it was a day where dozens and dozens of people were taken hostage. Many of them still being held hostage. So we also want to say that our thoughts continue to be with all of them and their families and their loved ones. I can only imagine the anguish that these families are still going through and have now for the past month, and the pain that they're feeling, the strong desire to get that seat filled at the dining room table again. We are going to continue to pursue every possible measure that we can to get those hostages released and to get those folks back with their families where they belong. And again, we continue to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. We're also keeping in our thoughts and prayers this 1 month in the many, many thousands of innocent Palestinians who have been killed in the conflict since October 7th, and the many more who are injured and wounded in the conduct of these operations. And quite frankly, the 1.5 million that have been displaced internally from their homes. We're mindful of that suffering as well. And 1 month in, it's good for everybody to take a knee, take a pause, and remember the scope of the suffering here and the terrible images that many of us have seen coming out of both Israel and Gaza. Now, on the humanitarian side, I can tell you that over the last 24 hours, 93 trucks were able to enter Gaza through the Rafah border. That was as of yesterday. That brings the total to 569 trucks.
Nice.
Since October 21st. And as we've said many times before, we know that's not enough. It's a trickle. I mean, as a matter of fact, before October 7th, that's about the number that was getting in every day. Now, it fluctuated a little bit, but it was several hundred, up to 500 a day. As you all saw yesterday, the President spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu, and he certainly discussed the need to continue to try to accelerate and increase the amount of humanitarian assistance that's going in. He also talked about the importance of pauses in the fighting to allow for aid to get in, people to get out, and for hostages to be released. We'll keep that dialogue going, obviously, with the Prime Minister and his war cabinet. On the idea of people getting out, so we do expect more individuals to depart Gaza today via the Rafah crossing. To date, there's been over 400 U.S. citizens and their families who have been able to depart and have been seeking the assistance of our consular team at the embassy in Cairo. And in just the last 24 hours, about 96, so just under 100 U.S. citizens and family members were able to move across that border. And as I said, it's very fluid. We won't get the final count until the end of the day today because the day is still going on. But we do expect that there'll be more Americans to come out today. So keeping that Rafah crossing open for aid to enter and Americans and other foreign nationals to leave has been a major priority for the President, will remain so going forward. And as I said, we're going to be focused on getting folks out, getting aid in, and getting those hostages released.
Subscribe.